Welcome to Land Academy. This is the cash flow from land show, where we show you how to buy unwanted vacant land and sell it for more on the internet. I'm Steve Butala.
I'm Jill DeWit.
We are your hosts. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we are the experts in this niche land flipping business.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com. All right, let's get this show started.
This is Steven Jack Butala for Land Academy. Welcome to our cash flow from land show. We show you how to buy property for half of what it's worth and resell it the next day. Free information from Jack, that's me.
And inspiration from Jill, that's me.
In this episode, Jill and I talk about who in your life is worth looking after. Your wife, your kids, your dogs. Let's see about this. Jill, great show today. Before we start, let's take a question posted by one of our members on successplant.com, our free online community.
Cool. Jason from Fort Myers asks, I am new to the real estate investing market, and I hear every salesperson talking about how amazing tax liens are, and there's absolutely no risk. Clearly, there are risks involved. So what's the good, the bad, and the ugly associated with tax liens? Any information is greatly appreciated. I'm here to learn, and thank you for the advice.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, call 800-725-8816, and don't be boring. Here's the answer on this tax lien thing, and Jill gets on me all the time if my answers are too long, because I could do a whole podcast, not just an episode, but a whole podcast on tax liens. That's how much I love them. So I love tax liens, and here's how it works. And I'm going to explain exactly how it works briefly, and why, if you're new to real estate investing, you should never do this. You should plan for it, because about 2 years from now, when you're doing great sending out mail, which is the best way that in the beginning of your real estate career to generate a ton of money fastest. After that, you can get into the tax lien biz because, man, it's awesome. So what happens is this. Somebody stops paying the taxes on their real estate, for whatever reason. A lot of times, or mostly, in my experience, it's because they passed away. So they stop paying for whatever reason, and a lot of states, not all of them, but some of them, like Arizona, issue a lien. So the taxing authority issues a lien against the property, and eventually, after a huge amount of time goes by, they exercise their right to take the property back and actually own it. But in between that step, they issue a tax lien and they make it available for an unrelated third party to buy it. So what happens is, if Jill has a piece of property, she stops paying taxes, they issue a lien on her property. She doesn't care. She doesn't want it anyway. And if they put it on the internet, and I go over there and I buy the tax lien. And the tax lien is the amount of taxes that are due. Let's say it's $1,000. And then there's some fees associated so the county can make some money. And then an interest rate. So Jill now has two choices. She can pay the tax lien, really pay me, because I own the lien now. And for that, it'll be $1,000 times plus 16%. So $1,160. Or she can pay and then she gets the property back, or she can just forget about it, at which time I eventually can foreclose on it instead of the county and own the property. So it's a no-lose situation, just about. I'll explain how you can lose and what the risk is in a second. It's a no-lose situation in the Jill's case for me. I either get the property or I get my 16%. And Wall Street firms love tax liens. Here's the problem that can happen. In some cases, especially in our rural land product type, the amount of taxes owed can exceed the value of the property because it's so old. So if 10 years have gone by, no one's paid the taxes, and the taxes are $1,000 a year, now the taxes are $10,000 to get this property back, and the land's only worth $4,000, then no one's going to do anything about it. It doesn't make any sense for me to go buy the tax lien and foreclose on it. So there is some risk. You have to do some homework. You can't just buy tax liens like a crazy person. And that's what a lot of these Wall Street firms do. They buy them in tranches, in groups. They're called tranches. And some are great in there, and some are they're not worth it. And I get calls from people all the time that own groups of tax liens that, because they hear a podcast or whatever and say, I will deeply discount these if you just take them all off my hands, all of them, not just pick and choose the ones you want. So, sound complicated? Well, it is. I can even take it a step further. The foreclosure process is insane. It's very, very lengthy. You usually need an attorney. You can do it yourself, but it takes a lot of organization. So, man, but it can be just a fantastic way to buy property for like 1/10 of what you can sell it for. So,
and here's where I say, now you're taking it too long.
And that's it. That's the answer. I love tax liens.
My nails are dry. That's how long that answer took. Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, you know what's sad? I know you're right.
No, but that was a good one. You know what, Steven? Thank you, Steven, a.k.a. Jack. You could have spent a lot more time on that, and you didn't, and I appreciate that.
Who in your life is worth looking after? And more importantly, why the heck would we ever have a topic like this on a how to buy real estate for half show?
I was wondering that myself.
It's the sappiest, craziest, what?
I'm kidding.
Here's what it is. No matter what you think, you are not embarking on a better life for yourself for your own benefit. There's always somebody else. Take it from me. I don't want to sound like your father here. There's always somebody else. And even if that person is not real yet, they might be in your head. Maybe it's an anticipated relationship and the person's not really in your life yet. Trust me on this. It's way more fun to share success and way more supportive to share failure with somebody you care about. And if they're there right from the beginning, when you are successful, boy, sharing that and celebrating it with the person that was there right from the beginning, and you can laugh about the stuff, it's way better. So what you need to do is decide who this is. Decide who it is with some serious thought. Don't just say, "Oh, I'm married, so it's my wife," or give it some thought. Take a few minutes and think about it. Might be more than one person. Might be your whole family. Inform these people that you've decided that they're the people that are in your life and that you're going to go down the path doing this thing. And make sure they're on the same page. Save yourself a lot of gripe. People call Jill all the time and say, look, I really want to do this with you guys. I want to become a member. I got the money set up, the whole thing. But my wife is just killing me. She's saying, you gotta give me something more. You got to show me that this is real. Jill's standard answer is, have your wife call me. I'll talk to her. But my point is, in doing this show, if you can't get together with the people that you think you're going to share this with, you're setting yourself up to fail. So that's what this series of shows really is about. It's about setting yourself up to succeed and keeping the people in your life close to you that want you to succeed and are supporting you. Because it's not just the information. Jill and I can provide all the information. We've done this almost 16,000 times. We know what works. I know what works and what doesn't, and I can communicate it very effectively to you for a very small amount of money, the knowledge that you get from us. But if you don't have the motivation piece and the inspirational piece that Jill provides way more than I do, that's what these shows are about. Making sure that you have a fallback when some stuff goes sideways, because it always does. I don't care what you do. I have a favorite Dr. Phil saying. I'm not a huge fan of Dr. Phil, and you can think what you want. I'm not plugging the guy or unplugging him. I'm just saying he says a few things that make a lot of sense to me. One time I heard him say this. Every single time you get into a new relationship, you have to ask yourself this question. What am I giving up in my life to be in this relationship? And it really stuck with me because, first of all, you're presupposing when you ask yourself that question that you're all set. You're set up for it. You're a smart person. You got your stuff together, and everything's going to be just fine on your own. And now you're going to let somebody else in. What are you going to give up? Are you going to give up time, resources, money? Those are the kinds of things that you have to ask yourself before you get into a real estate investment career like this. We have a lot of members who are fantastically intelligent and motivated, but they've got some people and some things in their life that are standing directly in the way. And I don't think they thought about it before they really got into it. So I don't want that to happen to you. So you've informed these people and they say, heck yes, I'm right there. I'm on your team. You need to move forward together. No one likes surprises when it comes to life events. If you're a woman and you're going to surprise your husband goes to work every morning and you got some little kids at home and you're going to decide you're going to embark on this real estate career by yourself while he's at work and you're watching the kids and your plan is to surprise the guy 5 years later with a bunch of money and all this talent, that's not going to go over well. You want to share it with him. Because when you arrive together. And sharing makes everything more rewarding. God, I sound like your father, don't I?
Yes. I'm sorry. I am still in the room. It may be hard to believe, but I'm just sitting here patiently waiting. I didn't know if you were going to ask me anything. I don't know.
Maybe this is one of those shows that never sees the light of day.
No, it's just kind of all about you.
What do you think
this is
here,
good.
Because you
really?
You are that other person for me.
Do I get to talk?
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No.
Or did I blindside you like I just told everyone not to do?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. No, you did kind of blindside me. I just was kind of watching.
Watching TV?
Something. No, I agree with everything. Of course. I mean, it all makes sense. And there's two things. Yes, it's better to be on the same page because it's so much easier if you're working together towards the same goals. And if somebody falls off the wagon, the other one's going to help them get back on, and all that good all those good things. And then my other point is, and I say this often when I'm talking to people like that situation described, I tell them, hey, don't do this until you have that significant other on the same page with you, whether I talk to them or not, and you know, whatever it is, they better be on the same page or it's most likely not going to work. It is very, very important,
right,
to have that. And so I was thinking about who it is in my life or your life that is worth looking after. So you want to hear my list?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so I came up with like a list. Okay, so here's what I think. Steven, you just described the philosophy. Now I'm bringing it down to real stuff.
Awesome.
So who's worth looking after? At the end of the day, it's kind of got to be you. First of all, you got to look after you. If you don't take care of you, you're going to fall apart. Mm-hmm. And we all joke about this, but when you take a step back and you take a break, let other people miss you. You recharge your batteries. You come back better and stronger. You just got to do that kind of stuff. You got to take care of you. And number 2, your people. You got to look out for your people. Like Steven just explained, who is it in your life? And if they're not here yet, be ready for them. Be ready to take care of them, look after them. And then the last thing is who's worth looking after? Other good people. What if there's people that aren't directly in your world, like you have a quote unquote relationship with, but they're good people, give back. So that was my third.
I love it.
Thank you. Example of who is worth looking after. So you, your people, and then other good people.
This is the if them segment of the show. If you do X, then Y will happen. If you're held back from pursuing this real estate career, investing career because of one topic, like you're avoiding talking to people on the phone, or you're just allergic to paperwork, or there's a few things that are just stopping you. I mean, you think it's a good idea, you see other people do it, but you're like, I'm not going to do this because I really am uncomfortable talking to people on the phone. Believe it or not, that held me back in real estate for a long time. If you do that, if you're held back from pursuing this real estate career because of one of these things, then remedy it. Get yourself a partner, get an employee, find an outsource method, but do not let these silly little things, like I did for a long time, stop you from doing it. Because very soon, way sooner than you think, you're going to be rolling in cash. And you're going to hire out the help that you need, and you get all organized and figure out the stuff that you want to do and that you don't want to do and what you're good at. Jill and I, cut a line down the middle of all the responsibilities at all these companies we have. She does the stuff that she's good at and that she likes, and I do the stuff that I'm good at and that I like. And we have, a team to do the stuff that neither one of us really want to do, like deeds, for example. Right? Mm-hmm. If
like deeds. Why did you bring that up?
I don't. You know why? Because no one likes to do deeds. I mean, we have staff do it. And,
I know.
We've all done it. I have to. Still have to do it because of staffing, or people are out or whatever. And it's just doing paperwork. I've done literally thousands of deeds in my life, thousands, and I'm over it.
It's funny. I'm glad it's a good thing to kind of lighten up this show a little bit because it's getting a little deep here. So it's funny because it's a thing that we all kind of go, oh man, are those ready? And even if they're done, we got to sign them, and it's really not a big deal.
We're complaining
it's
about
like,
it.
It is. It's like, oh man, do I have to go put another check in the bank? Oh, I went last week. It's somebody else's turn. It's kind of silly because that's really what it is. But we're like, oh.
Want to hear something funny? Funny story. For years, this is before you, Jill, I had a signature stamp, and the person that worked directly under me had my signature stamp. So all the checks that went out, stamped my signature. All the deeds that went out, stamped my signature. Well, one day,
oh no!
Somebody called from the bank and said, "You guys can't do this." This went on for years. First of all, you should never do this. Okay,
right.
I really trusted this person, and rightfully so. I should have, and she ended up being one of the best employees ever. But you never want to have somebody have your signature stamp. She could have written one check, taken everything out of the bank, and gone to Jamaica. Mm-hmm. But that's how lazy I was about depositing checks and the whole thing, and going to the bank.
That's hilarious.
Getting cashier's checks.
Right? Exactly. Isn't that silly? It's funny. So that's good.
If you have a question or you want to be on the show, call 800-725-8816. I bet Jill has something inspirational to share with us today.
It was just kind of ties into this whole topic when I sit and I think of what I want to talk about and share with whatever subject you come up with. So really it's just who helps you every day? Like not just worth looking after, but who's really helping you every day? I mean, think about it. Is it your spouse? It may not be your spouse.
Your spouse might be standing in your way.
I know. Well, and for me, Steven, it's you, clearly. And you make me coffee all the time. You bring me coffee. And it's a little thing,
you bring
but
me
it
scotch.
Helps me every day.
And it helps me too.
Scotch. There you go. So that's right. Oh my gosh. So I guess it's just think about who helps you every day, really helps you. And what little thing it is, it's a good little inspiration. Like, oh my God, because they wouldn't be doing that for you if you weren't bringing something to them.
That's right.
So maybe it's a mentor or a colleague. Like, God, that person is always this ex-assistant. Every time I ask for something, she's on it. Why? What is it about me? Well, you're nice and you treat them like
you're fair.
You're fair and you're respectful, and yell at them and boss them around. Whatever.
Right.
It's just kind of a nice thing, and it's a good little inspiration thing to think about. You're doing something right because they're doing something for you too.
Excellent.
And more importantly, you keep going on that up spiral. You and I talk about that. It's great to. If they're going to, they're going to be so nice to me. So I'm going to do this. And the next thing you know, they're doing something even nicer. Oh, what a great problem to have. So
managing people and sharing the profits and the successes and stuff is part of this. It's a huge part of it because we have members. This is what happens with our members. They send 1,000 letters out, 1,500 letters the first time. A bunch of them come back as deals. They get their feet wet, they learn how, and one of the first things they learn is that, okay, wait a minute. If I send 1,500 of these out, what the heck would happen if I sent 15,000 or 150,000? Well, you're going to get the same numbers back. So if you're buying 1 to 5% of the letters that you send out, you're buying the property. If you're going to buy 1 to 5% of the properties that you send 150,000 letters out, there's no way you can handle that yourself. So you need to bring some people in, and that's part of this. So you got to decide early on who you want to be involved, or who you going to let in. You know, like Dr. Phil thing. Who are you going to let in on this great thing that you're doing? You know, who's going to stand in your way? And there's always going to be a few of each. That's my point. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information, that's me,
And inspiration, that's me.
to get just about anything you want for half price. We use it every day to buy property for half and sell it immediately. Good show, Jill. A little too philosophical, you think? Too soft? Like, are there people out there saying, please just tell us how to do this then. Please tell us how to send the letters out. I'm ready. I want to do it.
It was a little deep.
What would you say to those people? Like,
You know, it's so funny because that's like, yeah, I mean, you know, it's just kind of deep. So I don't know. I hope that they were ready for deep.
well, the next show is called Why Real Estate is the Most Popular Way to Create Wealth.
All right, good. That won't
So
be deep.
that's going to be, it's about real estate.
It's going to be
buying,
fun.
Buying cheap land and houses and stuff.
Awesome. We do that very well.
Yeah.
I'm glad.
We have to have these types of shows, though, even if it's just for us because we feel good about it. Because we can't talk about land like every single time,
It's funny.
or flipping houses.
It's true. It's all part of the big picture.
Yeah.
It really is. It all goes together. There's an emotional, financial, you know, however you want to title these things. So, pieces.
Let's go buy some property for half price today and sell it. Jack and Jill, information and inspiration.
This is my impression of Steven. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to listen to some oldies and some goodies right here on K-Jazz.
Oh my gosh.
What?
Was it that bad?
It was that. I'm like, Steven, it was elevator music,
Oh
dialogue,
my God.
putting me to sleep like K-Jazz. Sorry, I had to say it.
Oh my gosh. Okay, Jill. Next show, I'm going to do an impression of Jill. Stay tuned.
We hold a drawing to win a free property every month. Enter to win by reviewing this show on iTunes and downloading our free ebook at landacademy.com.
If you want to get involved or you need more information about our profitable, niche real estate operation, call 480-467-0359. You just might get Jill at the other end of the line.
Landacademy.com. You are not alone in your real estate ambition.